Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about how to handle the drop-downs using Selenium Java. We have various ways to select the value from the drop-down or deselect the value from the drop-down. So we have a bunch of options like select by visible text, select by index, select by value. The same way we have deselect by visible text, deselect by index, deselect by value, and we have get options, get all selected options, get first selected option, and is multiple and deselect all. Apart from that, we have also a couple of other ways to handle the drop-down values by using the for loop. We'll see this later. First, we'll come one by one. How to select the value by using the select by visible text. So we have a setup method to invoke the browser, invoke the Chrome browser, and navigate to given URL, given site URL. We are setting the properties for the Chrome driver, and then we are creating the object for the Chrome driver. That means it is going to invoke the browser, opening the browser, then navigating to the site URL, then maximizing the browser. After landing on this URL, then we have to select the value from the country dropdown. From the country dropdown, I want to select India. Here you go. So we have to select this India value from the country dropdown. Let's go back. So for this, I'm going to create another method that is called public static void select by visible text dropdown, user defined method name. Yeah. After coming to this, then first we need to find out the element for this inspect element. So for this, we have the name properties there. So go here. So I'm going to create a web element, and it is going to be country drp, a drop down short name, driver dot find element by dot name. And after that, we need to, this is the web element, right? This is the web element for country drop down. Next one, create an object for select class. Okay, so we have the select class. If you open this, if you just type and select and just control space, it will give the list of populated methods or classes, or list on the classes from the Selenium. Select the first one, that is the org.openqa.selenium.support.ui. That's it. So how do I know that the select is a class? Just open this. See, look at this. This is the class. Right now, next select is equal to, my object is a select, new select of. So we are creating an object for the select class, right? So the select method is, the select class is asking for the web element. So country drop down is a web element. Now we want to select the value from the drop down, that is a select dot select by visible text. So the selected by visible text is going to ask the parameter, the string parameter, the string argument, a string parameters. You can say it is asking the string value. So you can give in double quotes India. So it should be the case sensitive, because as it is in this drop down, India will be in the capital letter, isn't it? Yeah, it's all in India in capital letter. So we should give all these countries are in capital letters. So we should give in the capital letters, India. That's it. Now, if you want to call this method, you can call first setup. You want to run this, call this method here. That's it. Now right click on this one, run as Java applications. Selected, India is selected here. So select by visible text is working fine. Now let's go with the select by index. So the select by visible text is, it will select the element or select the value from drop down based on text which are given in the attribute area. Okay, this is attribute area, and you can give, the text whatever is giving here, that will check in the drop down. In this drop down, if it is available, it is going to select the value from the drop down. All right, but I have a question here. Sometimes the interviewer will ask you, I given a value in the select by visible text, example IND. Okay, what if this value doesn't have in the drop down? In that case, usually we won't test that kind of things, right? So we should test it, because we should know what kind of exception will come. We'll try and see that. Look at this, cannot locate element with text IND. That means no such element exception. This is very, very important. Okay, whenever you given the whenever you have given the wrong value in the select by visible text, it is always giving no such element exception. No such element exception. I'm going to write this here and just copy paste here. First, let me give this India. Then I'll give one more, that is in the comment section, select by visible text. That is called India. IND, sorry, IND. And this is going to give an exception. So I can say IND is not available in the drop down. So it is going to throw no such element exception. Simple. No such element exception. That's very, very important. Okay, now let's go with the other one. The other one is a select by index, public static void select by index. Let me minimize this method. Now let's copy the same till here, paste here. Now you have to select the value from the drop down by using select by index. So right, the index always start from the 0. Index always start from 0. Okay, so 0 means the first value, which is the first value. Now let's go back to the drop down here. The first country is Albania, which is treated as index 0 value. Okay, so second one is going to be Algeria. Algeria is going to be the index 1, index 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I want to select the value from the drop down, that is called Australia. If I want to select Australia by index, I should give 12. 12 is the index which is going to select the Australia. Now call this method. Now when you run this, Australia selected successfully. Now the negative side, what if I give a minus numbers? Okay, let's see that. I want to give select by index, which is giving minus 2. Minus 2 is allowing. Let's see that what happens. So it is giving no such element exception. The index is -2. It is giving the no such element exception. If you're giving the minus value, what if you give the beyond the value? Example, I can say there are more than 100 countries. Example, I'm giving 500, which is not available or which is not there. This index is not there in the dropdown. In this case, what happens? I'm going to comment this one. So I'm giving positive or negative, but which is a negative case. So in this case also, we should get the no such element exception. Same thing, no such element exception, cannot locate option with index 500 with that number. Okay, same thing is coming. So these are the negative side of testing. This is a positive testing. Okay, so remember, when you're selecting the value from the dropdown which is not there, you will get no such element exception straight away. Now I'll go with the third one. Public static void select by value dropdown. All right, let's copy the same one till here. Now select by value. So select by value is asking the string parameter. Okay, string parameter. Let's see that. Let's go back here to the drop down. If you see this drop down, right, in the console, in the element section, HTML section, you see that no value, the option value, this is the value. Okay, sometime it is going to be the short form of the country for some website, but it is giving, for this website, it is giving the full name, both value and this value in the drop down value. Now I want to select Argentina. The value is equal to Argentina. So this is the value. So this is the value is equal to Argentina. Now let us run this. So Argentina got selected. Perfect. Now what next? Deselect by visible text, deselect by index, deselect by value. Now let's see that what is the deselect by. Public static. Same thing for negative side also, same thing, guys. If you have the wrong name in the drop down, or maybe value is different, so let me do that also. I'm giving some different name. Okay, and if I call this again, it is going to give the same one. No such element exception. Same thing, if you pass anything over here which is not available in the drop down, you will definitely get no such element exception straight up. This is a negative case. And what next? Deselect, right? So public static void deselect by visible text. Deselect by visible text. So what is mean by deselect by visible text? If you already selected some value and you want to deselect that. So let us copy this one till here. So this is going to be selected India first. Then I want to deselect that value, same value. Let's deselect by value. Let's say India. Let's copy this, paste here. Now I want to give some gap, like wait around 3 seconds. India selected. Now what happens here? It is not giving any kind of unsupported operations exception. You may only deselect options of multi-select. So in this case, this kind of drop down will not be supported for the deselect one. Okay. Let me do one thing. I'll just copy this. This is one of the exception that we got it for this deselect. Unsupported operation exception. This is very, very important. When you are deselecting the value from the drop down, from the straight away drop down. Okay. Then in this case, you will get this exception. But in which case it works? It is a different drop down we need it. What is a different drop down we need it? So I'll show you the drop down, which is automation setup. This is a drop down. I'll copy this URL. If you see this, let's say example, I have selected then the drop down. Okay, this is also one of the drop downs with the multi selection. I have selected this. If I want to deselect this particular value, SAP, okay, or maybe Audi, so I want to deselect this. So if you want to deselect this value, it will be deselect like this, like this. So let's go here. I want to change this URL, right? I'll copy this URL, come back, and then paste URL. All right. Yes, let's go back. First, I'm selecting the value by using, okay, let's say RD, and I want to deselect that by using the same, okay. RD is there. I want to deselect it with 3 seconds gap. Let's see this. What happens here? Because we are doing a mistake, that is called, we need to change this particular property, right? So right click on this one, inspect element, and this is name is equal to course. Okay, name is equal to course. Name is equal to course. Then you can run it. It is selected. So it is not deselecting again. What is it? Cannot, no such element exception with the value, fine. Deselect by, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. This is the value how to actually. I made a mistake. Deselect by visible text. Yes, it got deselected after 3 seconds. So now it is working fine. Now, if you want to try with the others, let's say, so this is a deselected by visible text. So if you want to go with the deselected by index, let's see that. Public static void deselect by index drop down. Now same thing, you can copy paste, then select by index, or select by visible text, or select by index is fine, anything is fine. I'll go with the 3. That means this is the fourth element from drop down. All right, now take a wait for 3 seconds, and then deselect by index, that is 3. So if you see here, there are 4 elements, 1 2 0 1 2 3. I'll go with the, anyway I already selected the RD, right? So I'll select the SAP or Volvo, anything is fine. I'll go with the 1, that is the second element. 1, this is the second element. Now I'll go with the same one here. Let's copy this, paste in the main method and run it. It got deselected, perfectly fine. Now let's look at the deselect by value. Now I just want to change, copy this, the same method, paste here, deselect by value. The same way select by index is anything is fine. The select by value or anything is fine, that's not a problem. Select by value, example RE, and deselect by value. That is, look at this, deselect by value, expect element. Value is SAP. I'm taking the SAP this time. Here also I'm taking SAP. So I'm selecting the value using the SAP, deselecting the value using SAP after taking 3 seconds gap. Let's run it. Select, deselect. It's perfectly working fine. Now we have covered this. This is done. Done. And we have covered 6 methods. Now we'll talk about the get options. So get options returns a list of options in the dropdown. So what is meant by options? You always see that dropdown has options. This is a select dropdown, and here we have options 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 options. It is going to count all the options and it is going to return 4. Let's see that. Public static void get options dropdown. That's it. Now let's copy the same method till here and then select dot get options. Remember, if you don't know how to return the what is going to return by this get options, you simply see that list of web elements. It is going to return list of web elements. Then you can give list of web elements. Now, if you want to get the count of these elements, right? Okay, you can give simply ele dot size. You will get the size. But what size is going to return? It is going to return integer. Okay, then you can simply write just count is equal. That's it. And focus on this create local variable. Now you just type system.out.println, just count, give the count. Just time to print this count. So get option is going to list of options, and that is going to store in the element object here. And this element object we are getting the count, and that is going to return integer. We are storing into the integer, and this count I'm printing it. Now let's see that the count. The 4. Now if you your task is going to add the new tools website, right? So you can go to this new tools demo and till here register, and you can take the property for this country and you will have bunch of options here. Maybe you will get 100 plus. You see that there are so many options are there. So you may get 100 plus or maybe 150. Okay, so you will get that count here. That's a get options. Now get all selected options. Get all selected options means, let's say I have selected the multiple values from the dropdown. Let's say here I have selected 3. Now it is going to return these 3 selected options here. Okay, let us first do one thing. Public static void get all selected options dropdown. Right. Now copy the same web element till here. All right. Next one, select dot get all selected options. You see that it is also going to return list of web element. Okay. Now go here, list web element. Li is equal to, yeah, fine. Now, if you want to know the list of selected web elements, only count or with a text. So first I'll get the text, li dot, first I'll get the count, size, same like this, same like above one only, same like above one. So it is going to return integer count is equal to fine. And this I want to print it. Right. So if I run this, right, okay, it will give the 0 count because nothing is selected here. Okay, we are not selecting anything from this particular method. First, let me run it and see that. So it should return 0. Now, what if I select something here? Let's say select dot select by visible text. Okay, that is OD. I'm sorry, capital, right? So it should be capital. And then you should run it. Selecting the RD and valve. Then you will get the count as 2. That means all selected options. How many selected options? Hope you understand that, this get selected option, all selected options, which is return the list of selected elements from the dropdown. That's it. Now let's see, there is one more way of selecting getting the elements, public static void. Now let's see, get first selected options. Get first selected option. Okay, get first selected option dropdown. Copy the same thing here. With this here. Now I'll do one thing. I'll select Opel and Audi. Okay. Then we'll see. Opel is a capital. Yes, Opel. And we are going to select the second element as Audi. And then I'm going to select dot get first selected option. You see that it is going to return a web element. Okay, and this element dot one second. So we have the first selected option. Okay, so this is going to return the web element, is fine, but I want to get the text of the selected element, first selected element. It is going to return the string. We know that because get text is going to return the string. This is called text is equal to. Now I want to print that text. Let's copy this, paste here, and run it. Yeah, there is a problem. The problem is visible text Opel. I'm sorry, Opel. It's not open, it's Opel. Both are selected and the first selected option is open. Let's say I'll come from the bottom. I'll do like this. Volvo. Actually, in the list of elements, the first element is a Volvo, second, third, fourth. First, I'm selecting the RD, then selecting the second one, Volvo. So select by visible text RD and select by visible text Volvo. So when I use this, if I want to get the get first selected option dot get text, it is going to return the first element because it is there in the list. I mean, it is there first in the list. If you see this, if you go to the get first selected options, you see that the first selected options in this select tag. In the select tab, what is the first element you have selected? Volvo. It doesn't matter whether you select first or last, okay? But this value should be in the top. This value should be in the top, or this one. Anything is fine. So which is there in the top? In the select tag, the Volvo is in the top. So it is going to return this Volvo. Okay. Let's say example. I'll do like this. I'll comment this. Now I'll give select by. I'll go with index. I'll go with the visible text. So first I'm selecting the Opel. I'm selecting the first SAP. Okay. Then select by visible text, that is Audi. Then select by visible text Opel. Now let me see the spelling. I'll remove this and paste here. First I'm selecting Audi. It is going to select Audi. And then I'm going to select the Opel. Then I'm going to select the SAP. So now when we get the first selected options, okay, it is always focus on the option which is selected and top in the list, top in the select tag. Simple, top in the selected tag. So which is there in the top in the select tag? The top one is a SAP, irrespective of selection of element. Okay, now let's go and run this. Let's look at that SAP, because SAP there in the first place of this particular, I mean first place in the sense, how many elements are selected in that list, which is on the top, which is in the first place. So this is the way to select an element from the drop down with the multiple ways. There is one more option that is called for loops. So for loop, this is also one of the critical mechanism that we are selecting the value from the drop down. Select value from drop down using for loop. So for this, I'll do one thing. I'll take the old website, which is we already taken, that is a new tools website, right? Let me check the little one. New tools demo AUT. I'll take this website. I'll copy this, paste here. Right. So now let me create a web element for this. Web element is equal to new driver dot find element by dot. You're taking the name property or whatever it is. You can take anything. Name property for this country, because I can see that name is called country. So for the different way, we can take the different type of properties like XPath, CSS, blah blah blah, a lot of things, right? So we don't have any ID for this. We don't have a class name for this. So how do we take the XPath for this? Right click on this one element, copy XPath. Control F here, paste here. This is the biggest absolute XPath. Okay, this is absolute XPath. You can't rely on this because in this list of tags, right? Okay, it may be change TD or TD, whatever it is. Okay, so do not depend on this one. Very simple. Just name is equal to country, right? Just copy this one. Control F here, / stop, and @name is equal to country. Simple. That's it. So it is directly going to hit this particular tag, select a tag, name is equal to country. This is a relative XPath. Now I'll go to take this XPath. Right. Fine. In this particular select tag, we have a list of options. These are the option 1, 2, 3. These are the tag names. Here select is the tag name. Here also option is the tag name. Now, when we have the list of elements with the same property or with the same tag name, okay, in that case, when you have the list of elements with the same name or property or tag name, so in that case, we can take the list of web elements, right? So list of web element, okay, this is the country list is equal driver dot find elements. Automatically it is coming, find elements, finding the multiple elements by dot tag name of options. Only option. You can also do like this. You can also give in this particular drop down. We are having the list of tag names that is called options. Okay, so in this case, you are getting all the options into this particular country list. So if you want to get the count of the elements, count of list of countries from the drop down. So in this case, int count is equal to this country list dot size method. So you will get the size. Let us see that the size is coming or not. So system.println, then count. (264) countries are there. So you have 264 countries. Okay, you are getting the count of or size of the countries. Or count of the countries, a list of countries with the count. Now I want to print the countries. Okay, print the text of countries. You want to see that, right? So I want to see all the country names. So in that case, very simple. Remember the logic here. If you want to get the list of countries are multiple countries or multiple values, whatever it is. In that case, our thought will always go to the loops concepts. Okay, in this. So I'm taking the for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than, and this is the count. You have to take the count, or we can take this count. Anything, this is also fine. Count. So count is 264. Until 264, it is going to loop it. Now what next step? You want to get the text, right? You want to get the text of this one. So countries list dot get of index I. First, it will start with the I equal to 0. That means the first element from the index, that is called Albania, then Algeria, like this. From this, I want to get the text. So this one, it is going to return the string. So you can give text is equal like this, you can give it and then print it, text. Now let us run this. So it will take some time to print everything here. Yep. So it has printed 264 countries. It has printed 264 countries. Now, what is the next task? I want to select the value from the dropdown. That is also very, very important, right? So in this case, I want to select the value from the dropdown that is based on, it can be, your text. Let's say if condition I'm using. Why should I use if condition? Because from the list of countries with the text, I want to select India, right? So this has a India. This has a India. Text dot contains India. But how do you do that? Because I'm trying to print all the countries here. If any country is matching at runtime while printing the countries, okay, if any country is matching with my required country name, okay, text dot contents of India, if text is matching with this, then we have to select that. How do we select that? Country dot get off I dot click. That's it. So you can do like this. Now let us run this. So it has selected India. So this is how we are getting the values. So same with the negative case, if you want to try to select the value, something which is not there in the this one, or you can also give the equals. That's not a problem. Equals also you can provide equals or contains. Anything is fine. So contains, basically, if you give the partial text, it will also match. India selected. So contains, if you are giving the contains, then you can give the partial IND like this, right? And if I want to do something else like this with equal ignore case, I'll go paste it here. I'll comment this. Do we have any equal ignore case? Equal ignore case. So in this case, I can give some small India, okay? In this case, it is going to ignore the case sensitive. Right click. Those are the string methods. Yep, selected. Fine, perfect. So this is how you can select the value from the dropdown. There's many number of phrases. So for this operations, right? Okay, we have cars. Okay, for this we have another HTML file. I'll be sharing in the video description. You can find that, and you can copy that HTML content into the notepad and then save it as a .html file and open that file, and you can give the path of the file in the driver.get. Here you can give the path. That's it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see in the next session.